Did you miss me? Oh, I know you did. I know you miss me. I can sense it. I can't really see it, but I can sense it. You missed me. And if you didn't, you're lying to yourself. You are straight lying to yourself. Well, I'm back. Yes. For the first time in almost 3 weeks, the Stealing Your Time podcast here on YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud is back. I deeply, deeply, deeply apologize for there not being a podcast last Saturday. I will explain why here in a moment. I should have let you guys know in advance, but life as we knew it reared its ugly head, and I did not do a podcast last week. Because of my foolishness of not putting out a podcast last week, I'm going to be spoiling you guys by not only bringing you here episode number 4 of the podcast here on December the 4th, but I'm also going to be bringing you episode 5 of the podcast sometime early next week. So I know the whole every other 2 week cycle is definitely screwed up now, but that's my fault. I apologize for that. So I'm going to make up for it by giving you guys 2 podcasts relatively close to one another. So you're welcome. Yay. More of the time I get to steal from you. But in all honesty, hopefully you guys, my loyal listeners out there on Spotify or SoundCloud, if you're somehow listening on there, hopefully you guys have been staying safe, have had a great past couple of weeks. A lot has come and gone since then. Obviously, Thanksgiving, one of the main reasons why I did not do the podcast last week, because it was Thanksgiving. Went home, spent time with family, had dinner, all the good stuff with Thanksgiving. Also, another reason why we did not do the podcast last week is because the end of the semester is here. It's actually almost over as we speak. But the end of the semester usually means that it gets pretty crazy, it gets pretty hectic. The coursework goes up as the semester winds down, which is always just fun, always very, very fun. If you're a student, you definitely know what I'm talking about. You know what you feel me. You feel me on that. So those are kind of the 2 reasons why there was no podcast last week, and I should have let you guys know in advance, but I was a bad noodle, and I did not. So without further ado, let's talk about some stuff. Let's go ahead and talk about some stuff. Let me steal your time away from you. Sit back, relax, enjoy. Pop open a can of pop. Drink some water or other stuff that may or may not be alcoholic. And enjoy the show. Let's talk about here first on the docket, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving recap. Hopefully you guys had a great Thanksgiving. I know, one of the strangest Thanksgivings, obviously because of the good old Rona. Hopefully you didn't attend any, giant family gatherings. I know there probably were a ton, because that's just what Thanksgiving is all about. It's all about the gigantic family gatherings. But this year, that probably would not be the very smartest thing to do. But you and I definitely know that they definitely happened, and you probably attended one yourself. I actually, for Thanksgiving, went ahead and had a very, very small family gathering. In fact, it was just me, my parents, and my grandmother. And that was it, just the 4 of us. And that's perfectly fine for me. That is perfectly fine for me. We had an incredible Thanksgiving dinner. It was one of the best I've ever had. We didn't cook it ourselves. We went ahead and we ordered it through the grocery chain Hy-Vee. Now, for those of you in the Midwest, you know all about Hy-Vee. For those of you that don't live in the Midwest, it is basically the only grocery store in the Midwest. There's a couple others, but Hy-Vee is like, they have the monopoly on the entire Midwest region of the United States when it comes to grocery chains, because they are basically a super giant in the Midwest. You probably do your grocery shopping at Hy-Vee, if I were to guess, or maybe even Fairway. Shout out to Fairway, I used to work there. But yeah, that's how we had our Thanksgiving dinner. They basically put everything in containers, and my parents picked it up, and we ended up just putting it in the oven and calling it that. And their food was amazing. Their food was amazing. Like I said, one of the best Thanksgiving meals I've ever had, and I'm probably going to do it next year too, because it was that freaking good. It was that good. Now, one thing that I said on my Twitter page, and I will die. I will stand on my hill, and I will go to my grave saying this statement. And I know this will probably trigger a lot of people. But ham is far and away way better than turkey. I think I might have said that on the last podcast. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's on record now officially. That's what I had. That's what we had instead of turkey, is we had ham. Because ham is just so much better than turkey. I have never had a good turkey in my life. It's always just so dry. And honestly, it tastes like ass. It honestly tastes like ass cheeks. Ham doesn't need any explanation. A good ham is just the best. And very, very fortunately, I had a good ham. I had a very, very good ham. So do not get it twisted, people. Ham is 3 billion, quadrillion, bajillion times better than turkey will ever be. Mark my words. And if you don't like that, that's tough. That's tough. So yeah, there's my stance on ham versus turkey. I am team ham all day, every day, for the rest of time. I will probably never have turkey again for Thanksgiving. Probably just jinxed it. Probably will have it eventually one of these days, but ham will always be the Thanksgiving meal of choice for me. And to go along with the ham, we had amazing mashed potatoes and gravy. I mean, you just can't have a Thanksgiving meal without mashed potatoes and gravy. Or stuffing either. The stuffing was fire. It was so freaking good. What else do we have? We also have... we were going to have some buns, I think. Yeah, some buns. And my parents put the buns in the oven for way too long, and they burned. So, and then they turned super hard. So we did not have those, which was very unfortunate, because, you know, buns are always a staple of Thanksgiving meal. And then, oh my God, I forgot about the best part about the meal was the dessert. And no, I did not have pumpkin pie, because pumpkin pie sucks. Yes, I am probably getting you all pissed off right now, all triggered. Why the fuck he doesn't like turkey? He doesn't like pumpkin pie. You're damn right, son. You're damn right. I'm different. I am built different than you. Pumpkin pie sucks. I will also take that to the grave as well. I have never had a good pumpkin pie in my life. It is trash. Apple pie for the win. Apple pie is here. You people on Spotify can't see it. I'm raising my hand. It's all the way up to the roof. apple pie's up there, pumpkin pie down in hell. I said it. I said it. I said it. Pumpkin pie, overrated as hell. Disgusting. It sucks. Apple pie for the win. But actually, we did not actually have apple pie. We had, oh my god, my mouth is watering just think about it. My dad made an apple crisp. Like, he made it himself from scratch. Oh my god. And I had some, oh my fucking god. It was maybe one of the best desserts I've ever had in my life. It slapped. It was so delicious. I put some whipped cream on there, or Cool Whip, however you, if you know, you know. However you pronounce, however you want to say Cool Whip or whipped cream, whatever. That's a debate for another time. I slapped some of that on there. I slapped some ice cream on the side, and oh my goodness, it was a match. It was a match made in heaven. It was just a match made in heaven. It was, once again, one of the best desserts I've ever had. It was so freaking good, and I'm going to harp on him every time I go back home now. Be like, hey, Dad, I'm going to go ahead and make that apple crisp that you made for Thanksgiving. Please, pretty please, because it was that good. It was so good. Better than any pumpkin pie could ever imagine being. So, alright, that's enough Thanksgiving talk. Once again, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving for whatever food items that you ate. Hopefully it tasted great. And now we're going to transition into our next little talking point here. And one thing that I haven't wanted to talk about for a while. Well, I don't know. Let me rephrase that. One thing that is kind of a big time talking point are the next generation consoles, the next generation video game consoles, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. Now, I am an owner of an Xbox One. I have had the same Xbox One since 2014, I believe, is when I got. I think maybe it was around Christmas time, 2014. I had the OG, annoying, basically space heater Xbox. It is pretty much a space heater. The fan, it is, if I put my hands on it, I'm putting my hand on it right now. If I ever want to warm my hands up, I'm just going to put my hands over the top of my Xbox, and my hands will be warmer in about a minute or two. That's basically that's how old this thing is. I haven't upgraded at all to any of the Xbox One S or Xbox, none of the upgrades before the Series X, right? Before the next generation console, right? I have not upgraded since then, and now I'm finally thinking, yeah, I probably am going to go ahead and I'm going to upgrade to the Series X. But that ain't going to happen for a while. That is not going to happen for a while because of the shortages of the Xbox Series X. Basically, they're almost non-existent. Let me not say that. They're non-existent for the retail price. They are definitely existent, but for nowhere near the retail price because people are fucking scumbags and they scalped the shit out of the consoles. And this goes for PlayStation 5 as well. They scalped the ever-living shit out of the consoles. Bought, I don't know how many at a time. Maybe 10. Some people probably bought even more than that, which is just fucking ludicrous. And they decided to go, oh, hey, you know what? I'm gonna upsell this for almost double the retail value because of the shortages that Microsoft, mostly because of the COVID-19, obviously, the mass production of the consoles has gone down the shitter. Now, this was just such unfortunate timing for both Microsoft and Sony. To to have your next gen consoles on the horizon to be released in the year 2020. They probably had that scheduled however many years in advance, because this was scheduled to be coming out probably about 4 years ago. Right, this isn't just an overnight. This was not just a 1 year thing, right? This was planned out over many years. They probably had this date set in stone so long ago, and I don't even know for sure. And to have what we have had happen over the last now almost 8 to 9 months happen at just the worst possible time, literally 6 to 7 months before your consoles come out, it's very unfortunate for them. It is very, very unfortunate for Microsoft and Sony that the timing of this was just absolutely horrendous. And it really sucks. It really sucks that, you basically had to be one of the X amount of people that were able to pre-order the Series X or the PlayStation 5 in order to even get it. Because, once again, all major retailers, they're wiped out. They don't have any. They probably didn't even get any when the consoles launched because of how short the mass production of the consoles were. So yeah, you won't find any at Walmart, Target, Best Buy, any major retailer you can think of that could probably sell it. They're not going to have it. It really, really sucks. It really, really does suck that this has happened. But you know what? I personally don't have $500 to $600 just laying around to buy an Xbox. I don't. I would have to save up. I would have to save up for about a couple of weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks to get that much money to to purchase a console. But maybe this is a good thing to just wait until the new calendar year. The shortages, unfortunately, are probably going to be going on for a while. All around this situation is it just sucks for a lot of people. A lot of people. I was looking forward to potentially upgrading soon. I wasn't going to pre-order the console by any means. I wasn't going to buy it on day one. But I was definitely looking forward to upgrading. But now I have no idea when that's going to happen. And now I'm stuck with my space heater Xbox for however long. And if you wanted to upgrade to a PS5 as well, expect the same thing, because the Series X and the PS5 they're hand in hand with how short they are with the amount of stock they have and they've created. So if you were fortunate enough to get an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5, congratulations. Hopefully you're enjoying it. And if you know a plug where you can get it for a retail price, my DMs are open on Twitter. Do not hesitate to let me know. And make sure they're legit too. I ain't trying to get scammed, because I know a lot of people. That's another thing too. A lot of people have been getting scammed because of this. Probably a lot of younger individuals, and that just puts the icing on the cake of just making this absolutely disgusting to see these probably older dudes scalping all these consoles, selling them off to kids that they have no clue what they're doing for the most part, and they buy them for 100, 200% of the retail price. It's just, that's the part that really irritates me, is that people are actually buying the consoles for $1,000. Because they have to have it now. They have to have this now. They can't wait. You can't wait until 2021 whenever in 2021, you have to have the newest and hottest thing now. It goes for pretty much everything in today's world. And especially the video game market, especially now with all the coronavirus things going on, people staying home, kids staying home more. They need, well, they don't really need, but they want the hottest new thing on the market. And they will pay whatever price tag people set it at. And it's just really, really, really unfortunate that people are buying the consoles for the price that they are. I will not do that. I am a person who will trust the process, and I will wait because I don't need an Xbox Series X. I want it. Alright? I don't need it. It's not a necessity for me. I'm perfectly fine with having this. I'm perfectly fine with the space heater. I'm perfectly fine with the space heater. So yeah, that is going to conclude the talk on the Series X and the PS5. Once again, if you guys have one of those, especially a Series X, and you know a plug, let me know. That'd be awesome. Alrighty. Let's transition now to something that I really like to talk about every podcast so far that we've had. And, well, I think you guys know. I think you guys know by the, I think you guys know. Yeah, you guys know. We're going to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, baby. Yes, sir. The Pittsburgh fucking Steelers. People, I may not have, oh my God. I've been very happy in my life. And over the last few months, it's been very difficult to find something that you can say that you're happy about. This is the one thing that I am just giddy about, that I am just over the moon excited. I feel like a kid again with how the Pittsburgh Steelers season is going. At the time of me recording this, we are 11-0. 11-0 on the season. If you would have asked me back early in August, if you would ask me, hey Sean, you think the Steelers could go 11-0? I would have told you, how many lines of crack did you smoke today? Because that question is out of line. Well, it turns out that I'm out of line, and that question is true. They are 11-0 for the first time ever. 11-0. I still cannot believe that. I still can't believe it, man. I still can't believe that we are 5 games away from a perfect regular season. This team a year ago was ass hammers. We were 8-8, and we missed the playoffs. We were in the playoff hunt for most of the season, obviously up until the last 3 weeks where we choked it. But we had shitters playing. It just amazes me how one individual has changed the landscape and the culture around for the team, and that's Big Ben. Because it's just a completely, totally different team. from the one from literally not even a full calendar year ago. They went from 8-8 to now on the brink, 5 games away from a perfect regular season, which has only been done twice. The Dolphins back in 70, whatever the hell it was, and of course, the New England Patriots in 2007. I never would have imagined in a million years we would be in that sort of discussion. Once again, this team has never, before this year, they had never gone 8-0. The previous best undefeated mark to start a year was 7-0, and they have surpassed that by 4 games. It's unbelievable. Now I've been getting a lot of flame from people, and a lot of people have been catching on to the main reason why the Pittsburgh Steelers are 11-0 is because of their schedule. And that just oh man, I love when the excuses start to come out. I love when people start to cry. I just fucking love it. I fucking love it. I love when you people start digging up the excuses, laying the excuse card. It is just hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious. Now, all I'm going to say about that is this. They don't make the schedule. The team don't make the schedule. The league makes the schedule for them. The team prepares for the games in the offseason. Well, not so much this past offseason. The team goes to their stadium, or Heinz Field, which is where they play. They play the game. The rest, only they can only control that single thing. They can't control who they play. That's just how, because the NFL schedule is very formulaic. It is extreme. It is one of the most formulaic things in sports, because it is also one of the more complex things as well. And I'm not going to get into a whole lot, but we face all 3 teams in the NFC North twice. And the AFC North has always been one of the toughest divisions, no matter how bad every team is. And this year, it's 50-50. We got the Bungles bringing us down for the most part. The Ravens have been sticking it up. The Browns are somehow 8-3. So we play, Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Cleveland twice a year. It's just very unfortunate that we got paired up this year with the NFC least. And I don't even need to get into the discussion of how shit that division is. The division winner in that division is not even going to win 6 games. They'll probably 6 games is being generous. They might win 6 games. Pittsburgh can't control that. They can't control how shitty another division, a whole fucking division is. They can't do that. If they could, they would. But that's the hand they were given. That is the hand they were dealt. Because of the timing, because of the cycle of the schedule and how crazy it is. We also get matched up with the AFC South. Now, the AFC South, 2 very good teams, 2 teams that are trash, all right? 2 teams that are very, very good, 2 teams that are just stinkers. Stinkers. They're terrible. And then since we finished second in the division, I believe, last year, second in the division, we played the second place teams in the rest of the AFC divisions. I know, this is very, very, very confusing. So we played Denver, who finished second in the AFC West. We played Let's see. We're gonna play Buffalo again because they finished second in the AFC East, and then we play. Or then we played the whole entire AFC South. So yeah. Once again, if you're gonna oh my god. If you're going to play the schedule card, then good for you. Good for you. Listen, I know we're gonna lose. I know we're gonna lose. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We have been playing so inconsistently in some games that it's just like, how the fuck did we pull that out of our ass? Especially against Dallas, especially against Baltimore twice, especially against Tennessee. You see this trend here, especially against a lot of our opponents, a lot of the teams that we've played so far. We probably should have lost some of those games. I'll be objective. I'm being totally objective when it comes to that. We should not. We shouldn't be 11-0. But we find a way. They scratch and claw, and they somehow find a way to win. They somehow found a way to win 11 straight games. Somehow, some way, they have found a way to win 11 straight games. Now we have 2 games where I think, yeah, this could be the game that we lose. The game against the Indianapolis Colts, we still play them again. And then the game against the Buffalo Bills is a Sunday night game. Buffalo Bills are legit. Josh Allen is slowly starting to become one of my favorite players in the league just because he is insane, man. Josh Allen, much respect to you. You are incredible. You are an incredible football player. You play the football game very, very well. And then the other game, I could see us easily losing is to the Indianapolis Colts. Now, the Colts just got steamrolled by the Titans, but they are a very sleeper team in the AFC, and they have seemed to be a sleeper in the AFC for the past few years. This year especially. One team that I am kind of scared about is Tennessee again. Tennessee, we saw what they did at the end of last year with Derrick Henry. They are starting to gain that type of momentum, the momentum they had at the end of the playoffs last year. Derrick Henry is starting to go crazy. He is starting to go apeshit. He is starting to just tear everyone's assholes apart. And I know we beat them a few weeks back, but I don't know if I would want to run into them again. I really don't. I really don't know if I would want to run into a Tennessee Titan team where they're just tearing shit up. I don't know. I would not want to face the Titans again, honestly, especially in the playoffs, because they can take over a game very easily. Which brings me to the one team that everyone in the league, every fan wants to see this matchup. And this is the matchup that I want to see more than any other matchup right now. The Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs right now are probably the best team in the league, and it's not even close. With the amount of talent they have on offense. It just so happened that they had that one slip and fall against the Raiders earlier on this year, and that's their only blemish so far is to the Raiders at home. You do not know how badly I want to see this matchup. This is the matchup that, once again, we all want to see this matchup. Football fans that are listening, you want to see this matchup. This is a Super Bowl caliber matchup in itself, but it can't be because obviously both teams are in the AFC. This can be only an AFC championship game. And at this rate, it's probably going to be the AFC championship game, and I desperately hope that it is, because I want to see what we can do against the all-around best team in the league. Because there ain't no way that our offense even comes remotely close to how good Kansas City's offense is. Because their offense is on another planet. They are in another world right now of how insane they are. And Patrick Mahomes, by the way, he is my MVP right now. Far and away, he's pretty much ran away with it at this point, in my opinion. You can debate Aaron Rodgers. He's really the only one. Now Russell Wilson kind of took himself out of it, honestly. Kyler Murray did too. Like those two, they're not in discussion anymore. I don't think it's down between A-Rod and Mahomes, and it's Mahomes right now. For me, Mahomes is just something else, man. He's really trying to be one of the best football players in the history of the game. You can tell. And he is by far and away the MVP of the league in 2020, and it's not even close. He's only thrown like one or two picks in 11 games. That's almost unheard of. Tom Brady is averaging almost a pick and a half, almost 2 picks a game. Put that in perspective. Mahomes is easily the MVP. Tyreek Hill is easily the best wide receiver in the league right now. Travis Kelce, easily the best tight end in the league. They're literally unstoppable. They are unstoppable. The only ones that can stop them are themselves. The only ones that can stop the Kansas City Chiefs offense right now are themselves. That's why I want to see this matchup so much, because I want to see what our defense, which, by the way, is the best defense in the league. And if you don't believe me, just watch a game, and you'll see that the defense. Pittsburgh has always been a defensive team, all right? That's how they won 4 Super Bowls in the 70s, right? Their offense wasn't flashy. Yeah, we had some great players on offense, but it was the defense. The Steel Curtain was the reason why they won 4 championships in the 1970s. And defense was the same reason why they won the Super Bowl back in 2005 as well, because the offense was pretty good. But it always circles around to the defense. There is a reason why the Steelers are nicknamed Blitzburg. And when you are named after a blitz, you know that your entire culture, your entire organization centers around being excellent at defense. Okay? So I want to see this in person, actually. I want to see this. I want to see what the best offense maybe we have seen in our lifetime is what we're watching here with the Kansas City Chiefs going up against one of the best defenses that we have been watching in recent memory in the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, the best against the best. The best offense versus the best defense. And honestly, I really hope that we can lose. I don't know why. I can't believe I'm actually saying I want us to lose, but I actually kind of want Kansas City to get the 1 seed here. Mostly because I want to go to Kansas City. If the Steelers are able to make it, and the Steelers and the Chiefs are able to make it to the AFC Championship game, or maybe even before then, I want to see the two teams play in person. I want to go to that game. I will do everything. I will do anything. I will spend an arm and a leg. I will give my liver. Okay, that might be a little bit too extreme. I will do whatever it takes to get a ticket to that game in Arrowhead Stadium. COVID and all. Even though it will be extreme, it probably be more difficult than trying to buy a Series X right now. But I will find a way to make it inside that stadium down at Arrowhead, Kansas City. If the Steelers and Chiefs meet in the playoffs in Kansas City. Obviously, if it's in Pittsburgh, and I ain't going to Pittsburgh again, man. At least not for a while. That ain't happening. So, all in all, 11-0. Did I imagine this would ever happen? No, I don't think anyone and their... I mean, of course, people make outrageous accusations. Oh, yeah, Pittsburgh undefeated, yeah. Every single year, yeah, undefeated. And this year, it's working out for them. So, but I'm not one of those people. I'm very attentive. I watch the games. I tweet out my frustrations / excitements. And I chill. And I talk about it here on the podcast. So, yeah. Also, it's been crazy recently as well. the past game the Steelers just played was on a Wednesday. I have no idea if there's ever been a game on Wednesday before. I'm sure there has. I have no idea if there. I have no idea. I have no idea if there's ever been a game on Wednesday, but the COVID stuff, like the cases, just spiking out of nowhere. It seems over the past couple of weeks has been absolutely bananas. Like this game was supposed to happen on Thanksgiving night between the Ravens and Steelers. It happened almost a week later. That's how crazy everything with COVID, mostly on the Ravens' part. They got nailed hard by COVID. Pause. They got nailed hard by COVID. Very, very key players. I mean, their best running back, Lamar Jackson, got it. So, yeah. But that ain't no excuse. Some of our players got it too. Cool. We went out there. We played the game. We escaped with the W. Just like we had for the last 11 games. So yeah. Alrighty, so we are going to cap off the last quarter hour of the podcast. First off with something that a lot of you probably got spammed with on your timeline, whether it's your Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. I think it started on Tuesday. It was the good old Spotify wrapped up in 2020. Oh yes, it was something else, wasn't it? Just everyone and their pet rock wanted to go ahead and just share who their top 5 artists were for the year, who their top 5 songs were for the year, how many minutes they listened to, all that good stuff. They just put it out there. I also did that for my top 5 songs. I didn't do like artists or minutes listened to or whatever. It's just, it's not that big of a deal. But People love music. I personally love music a lot. So, I'm pretty biased when I say this, but I have the best 5 songs of anyone that I've seen post their wrapped up in 2020. There's been some very interesting ones, some very good ones that I saw, but mine's the best because I'm the best. Ha 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 ha. And last but not least, we are going to wrap up the podcast episode 4 with what we've been doing a lot as of lately, the last 3 episodes, maybe the last 2 episodes. We've been to the podcast with our predictions for the current week of NFL games. Now, we'll also be predicting next week's games as well, because, like I said earlier, there will be another podcast coming next week. So get pumped for that. So without further ado, let's go ahead, and I'm going to pull up ESPN here really quick on my computer, so that way we can check out the schedule. There was no Thursday Night Football this week, obviously, because the Ravens, they were supposed to play on Thursday, but with the game happening on Wednesday, they were definitely not going to be playing a game the night afterwards, so they had to push that game back to Tuesday. So now what I'm going to do is share my screen. Woo! And here are the matchups. I'm actually going to bring up the instead of the schedule, I'm going to bring up the spreads for week 13 just to see what we have. All right, here are the matchups for this Sunday. Starting off first with the 12 o'clock games. We have a barn burner here. What's going to be the game of the week? I have a feeling. No, I'm just kidding. Falcons and Saints. Didn't these two just play each other like a week ago? It's weird. I guess they're playing each other again. The Saints are favored by 3 in this game, all right? Next up, we have the Lions and the Bears. I'm going to just save the matchups real quick, and then we'll go back and we'll go through and predict them. The Lions and the Bears, that is going to be a really bad game. Chicago is favored by 3. The Browns and the Titans, they have the Titans favored by 5.5, even though both teams are 8-3. Okay, that I thought would be a way smaller spread, but I guess they're going with Vegas is going with 5.5 right now, and it's almost Saturday morning. So, the Bengals and the Dolphins. The Dolphins favored by 11.5. That might be their biggest spread they've had in years, facing the Bengals. Jags and Vikings. The Vikings are favored by 10 in that one. That could be a good spread beater. The Raiders and the Jets. Raiders getting 8.5, obviously. Colts and Texans. Colts only favored by 3. That's interesting. I thought that would be a lot wider, but 3 points it is. I guess they're giving Houston. Vegas is giving Houston a chance. That's the last of the noon games. In 3:05, we have Rams and Cardinals. The Rams are favored by 3. That's a pretty big game in the NFC West. 3:05, the Giants and the Seahawks. The Seahawks are favored by 11 because Daniel Jones is not playing for the Giants, so rip. Oh, the Eagles. The Eagles are 8.5-point underdogs at Green Bay. Oof. The Patriots and Chargers. Chargers actually favored by 1.5, even though they're 3-8. Interesting. Sunday Night Football. Broncos and Chiefs. Chiefs 13.5-point favorites. Oof. And by the way, these predictions that I'm about to make, they're not going to be spread predictions. They're just going to be outright predictions. And then Monday night, it's a doubleheader. Good old Washington football team at Pittsburgh. Oh, yes, we got one of those first place teams and the NFC least. Oh, my God. Pittsburgh only favored by 7, though. I kind of have a feeling I know why. Okay, then Buffalo at San Francisco. That's the actual Monday night game. That would have probably been a very, very good game, but Fortunately, the 49ers have kind of been riddled with injuries all year. The line is actually even for that. They're calling it right down the middle. They don't know who to pick yet. So that's interesting. And then the other game is on Tuesday, the aforementioned, the game that was supposed to happen on Thursday, but is not. It is the Ravens and the Cowboys. I think that is at Baltimore. I don't know why it's not. I don't know why they're not showing it here on the spread. But anyways, so those are the matchups. It's at Baltimore. Tampa Bay is on bye, and they're probably really blessed that they are on bye, and also the Panthers as well. This is the last week for byes as well, and then there's 4 more weeks where every team plays every game, so that's pretty sick. Alright, so let's go ahead and predict these matchups. I don't know why I did that. Okay. So starting off first here, the Saints at the Falcons. Once again, the Saints are only 3-point favorites here. The Falcons just came off of one of the more shocking, dismantling wins over Vegas. They beat them 43-6 or something like that. The Raiders are some frauds. They're the only team that's beaten Kansas City. They almost beat them again a couple of weeks ago, and then they go and they lose to Atlanta by almost 40 points. Sheesh, man. But this game is about the Falcons. This is going to be probably a closer game than a lot of people think because of the fact that Drew Brees is still out. And by the way, hopefully Drew Brees is doing good after breaking nearly a dozen ribs. That's insane. But yeah, it's at Atlanta too. I probably will pick Atlanta to cover the spread in this one, but I think I'm going to pick the Saints to win the game. It's going to be a close game because, both offenses are not going to be very good. I think Julio Jones is going to be playing at all. Taysom Hill is going to be playing quarterback for the Saints. For how long, we don't know. I will take the Saints this one. I'm not going to give any score predictions at all. I'm just going to tell you guys who I think is going to win. And I think the Saints will win this game. And I think they'll be, I don't know what their record is at the moment. I know they're in first place in their division. Bears and Lions at Chicago. Oof. This is the turd bowl here. Both of these teams are absolute trash. Both got Detroit got slaughtered on Thanksgiving. Chicago got slaughtered on Sunday night. If I could pick neither team, I would, but I guess I will go ahead and I will take Chicago in this one. Going to be a close one because both teams are bad. Cleveland at Tennessee. Once again, I was very shocked to see the Browns being 5.5-point underdogs, even though it is at Tennessee. Tennessee is starting to gain a lot of momentum. Derrick Henry just came off of a 3-tutter performance. In Tennessee, like I said earlier, when the Iron Stripes talk with them, we saw what happened last year. They beat Baltimore, they beat New England, eventually lost to Kansas City in the championship game. So if they get hot, they are going to stay hot. I do like Tennessee in this one. It's going to be closer. I think it's going to be probably 3 or 4 point game. But I do like Tennessee to beat Cleveland and hand them their 4th loss of the year. Cincinnati at Miami. Miami by double digits. Cincinnati obviously is without their rookie quarterback after the horrific injury he suffered a couple weeks back. And Miami is rolling now with Fitzmagic back at quarterback. So good for them. They should have never benched him in the first place, but good for them to go back to the well. Miami by double figures over the Bengals. Jags at Minnesota. Minnesota coming off of an impressive come from behind victory last week. Trying to gain some momentum after a loss to the Cowboys. Rip. Jacksonville. Oof. Very, very bad team. They've had a lot of injuries themselves, so I shouldn't say they're a bad team. They unfortunately had the injury bug bite them. I do like the Vikings in this one. Probably going to be less than a 10-point game, so I think Jacksonville will cover the spread in that regard. Vegas at New York. Will the Jets get their first win of the year? Who knows? It could be against the frauds, the Raiders. We just saw the Falcons beat the ever-living brakes off of Las Vegas last week. And the Jets are the Jets. I will take the Raiders, though, probably by double figures over New York. Indy at Houston. Houston coming off of a couple of good wins. They beat the Patriots, and then they obviously destroyed Detroit on Thanksgiving. Indy coming off of a tough loss against the Titans after they beat Green Bay the previous week. This is going to be close. Houston really needs to win this to stay in the hunt for the playoffs because they are somehow, some way, still miraculously in playoff contention. And if they could win this one, that would be huge. I will take the Colts, though, by a field goal. I think the Colts will win this game by 3. This game might even go to overtime as well. It's going to be a very close, it's going to be a very good game. I will not be surprised if Houston wins it, but I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts to win this one at the end of the day. Moving on to the primetime slot at 3:05, 3:25. Rams at Cardinals. Once again, this is a pretty big game in the NFC West. Cardinals coming off a really, really tough loss at New England last week. That was a really bad loss for them. Obviously, Kyler Murray's been dealing with a shoulder injury, so that really affected the way he played a lot last week, and it showed. Obviously, they lost to a quarterback who threw for 84 yards, what Cam Newton did, and he threw 2 picks, and they somehow won the game. So that's crazy. The Rams coming off of a big-time win on... Did they play the Bucs on Monday night? I think they did. No, that was... No, that was a couple weeks ago. Coming off the loss against the 49ers, that's who they played last week. Coming off a tough loss to the 49ers, they honestly could have beaten them, but I think they turned the ball over a lot. It's at Arizona. Oh man, this is gonna be a toss-up. This is gonna be a very good game. Could see a lot of points being scored here. Both defenses, even though the Rams' defense is very good, can tend to give up some points. I hope they don't because I have them in fantasy and need them to do good against the Cardinals. I will take the Rams in this one. It's going to be another close game, 3 to 4 points in that ballpark area is where I think it's going to be between these two teams. I do like the Rams over the Cardinals in this one. And Arizona really needs to... I think this is a must-win for Arizona because obviously they're trying to avoid going 6-6 because they're 6-5 at the moment. New York at Seattle, the first place Giants at 4-7 or whatever their record is. It's crap. At Seattle. Seattle coming off a tough win. Really wet. On Monday Night Football against the Eagles. I will take the Seahawks because Danny Dimes is gone and that will really, really hurt the Giants. Another backup quarterback starting for the NFC East. So I will take the Seahawks in that one. Philly at Green Bay. It just goes from bad to worse for the Eagles, having to face Seattle and then going to Green Bay. I will take the Packers in this one. They are picking up steam after their dominant win over Chicago. They're going to dismantle Philadelphia. Dismantle them. Patriots at the Chargers. This is going to be another solid game. Will the Chargers have a lead and blow it? Will they have some of the worst play calling ever like they did last week against the Bills? Who knows? The Patriots obviously coming off of a huge win, and they're going to need all the help they can get, all the wins they can get, obviously, here at the end of the last stretch of the season to make the playoffs. With that being said, I will take the Patriots. Once again, we got some really good matchups this week. A lot of matchups that can go to the wire. A lot of matchups that are going to be very close. So I will take the Patriots once again by single digits. I'd probably take it 4 or 5 point favorites or 4 or 5 point game. The Patriots will win. Denver at Kansas City. Chiefs. Hopefully Denver has a quarterback this week. That was absolutely insane last week. 0 quarterbacks. And they somehow played that game against the Saints. And even though they got their piss beat out of them, they played the game. Ultimate respect for that organization for that. Hopefully they get one of those quarterbacks back this week because they're about to go into Kansas City and get absolutely steamrolled by one of the best teams, if not the best team in the league. Debatable. in the Kansas City Chiefs. So I will take the Chiefs in that one. On Monday, the football team against the team. There's no... I don't even need to say anything. Pittsburgh by a million. Buffalo at San Francisco. I am going to be taking the Bills in this one. This game actually going to be in State Farm Stadium, of course, because of the COVID regulations that have been implied or implemented down in Santa Clara. They literally cannot do anything football-related or even sport-related, I think, down there. So they are going to be playing at State Farm Stadium in Arizona, home of the Cardinals. So there's going to be 2 games, back-to-back days in State Farm Stadium. That might be red. That could be a red alarm right there. Hopefully that field is good enough to go for that game on Monday night. And then the last game of the week. This was obviously supposed to happen on Thursday, but because of COVID and the Ravens, it's getting pushed back to Tuesday. The Cowboys at the Ravens. The Ravens, I mean, this is the must-win game of the year for both teams. Both teams absolutely need to win. Ravens need to win to stay in the hunt in the playoffs in the AFC East, or in the AFC. And then the Cowboys fighting for first place in the NFC least. Still sad. It's still very sad. I will be taking the Baltimore Ravens, even though we just spanked their ass on Wednesday. I will take the Baltimore Ravens to beat the Dallas Cowboys and send them potentially on the way out the back door to the back shed and taking them out Old Yeller style. So yeah, those are my, week 13? Jesus, week 13 already. Only 4 more weeks after this. The season's already done. That's pretty wild. Pretty wild. Some decent games. Nothing too marquee. I think the best game of the week will probably be, honestly, maybe the Browns and Titans. That could be a good. That might be the best game of the week. Maybe the Rams and Cardinals. But the clear answer here is Washington Pittsburgh. That's gonna be the best game of the year. So we're about to go 12-0. Oh yeah. So that is going to wrap things up for episode number 4 of the podcast. Hopefully, I've kept you around until now, and hopefully you made it to the end with me. Hopefully you're still awake, and if not, wake up! Wake up, you silly goose. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed episode number 4 of Stealing Your Time. I'm glad to be back on the podcast grind once again. Episode number 5 of the podcast will be coming out early next week. I don't know when yet. Maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. I'm not entirely sure, but I will let you guys know for sure. If you're on YouTube, thank you so much for watching / listening. You're awesome. If you're somehow on SoundCloud, thank you so much for tuning in. You're a real one. And I know a majority of you probably listen on Spotify, so I greatly appreciate the support. Keep giving me support too. It just makes me want to do the podcast even more. And if you want to be a guest on the podcast, all you got to do is hit me up and be like, Shawn, put me on your podcast. And we'll work something out. And I'll try to get you on here. And we'll make this podcast even better. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you for episode 5 later on, / not later on, early on next week. This has been Stealing Your Time. YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify. I'm Shawn, signing out. Peace!